everyone, welcome to my live creative time today. My name's Mandy Witherby from Mandy's Papercraft Creations, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Sydney, Australia. It is great to be here for another week of creativity and chatting and catching up with everybody. Love catching up with all of my people. So as you're jumping on in, say hi, let me know that you are here. I am just going to pull this up on my other devices so that I can see all of your comments there while everybody is finding their notifications that I've gone live. So hopefully you are getting notifications that I'm going live, because last week one of my customers told me that she didn't actually get notified when I went live, and I was thinking, oh no, I hope everyone's notifications are coming through okay. So make sure that you've got notifications switched on for my my business page here, here on Facebook. Make sure you click on those three little dots at the top right hand corner, and then you can select to turn your notifications on there. All right, let me bring this up over here. And oops, click on the right button would be helpful. No, that's not the right button. Hang on a minute. There we go. Okay, good. All right, everything is set up and ready to go. Now, if you are watching live with me today here on Facebook, thank you so much for joining me. Feel free to chat along with me, ask me any questions that you might have, and we're just going to have a great time. Craft along with me, of course, if you would like to. And if you don't have your craft things set up today, that's fine. Just sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy the project that I have for you today. Now, if you are watching the replay here on Facebook, thank you so much to all my replay warriors. I really, really appreciate it. Feel free to leave me a comment as well, and I will respond to those when I get notified of them being there. And to those watching over on YouTube, thank you to you as well for watching the replay. Now, because I am filming this live, I will just let you know that we do chat as I'm filming live, because my viewers who come live with me love to have a good chat. So if you don't want to watch through the chat, that's fine, totally fine, I understand. Just fast forward through till you get to the project where I'm creating the project. So you are welcome to do that as well. Okay, now all of the measurements will be up on my blog later this week. I usually have that up by Tuesday, Wednesday. I try to get it done Tuesday, but sometimes other important things come up as well that I need to attend to, and sometimes I don't get to it till Wednesday. But they will be up, and when those instructions and measurements are up, I will post that in my I'll post the project here in my Facebook page so that you'll know to ask me for that link through to my blog. So I'll just tell you about a couple of quick things that are coming up. I've got something really exciting to share with you actually today. So I have got my first in-person class of the year coming up in February. I'm very excited. So it's going to be a card buffet. Now, I've never run a card buffet before, so I'm very, very excited about this. It's going to be in person. Seats are limited because I can only fit so many people around my dining room table. I don't have space here in my craft room for classes, so we do that out in my dining room. So seats are limited. And so it will be first in, first serve. Now, for the card buffet, you will get to choose 4 cards that you can create on the day. There will be a selection of more than that, but you get to choose 4 from the selection that you would like to create on the day. If you want the kits for the other cards, then you are there is that option of purchasing them additionally, and you can take them home with you and create them at home if you'd like to. And I'm hoping that it goes really well so that I can offer more card buffets in the future, but I'm very, very excited. It's going to be $25, and that'll include the 4 cards, plus there'll be light refreshments for afternoon tea, coffee, there'll probably be cookies or biscuits or something There'll be juice and water and of course and things like that, and you can bring your own. All you need to bring is your basic toolkit that you normally craft with and your adhesives, and everything else will be supplied for you. So the RSVP will be the 10th of February. I think I've got that right. Yes, the 10th of February, and the class is going to be on the 24th of February, which is the last Saturday of the month. But it will be, the class will actually be, the registrations will be closed if I fill the class before that time. And if it proves to be really popular, then maybe I'll have to put on a second one. So that is coming up. I'm going to pop the link here in the comments, and I'll be putting that in my Linktree links as well, so that you can, I'll put all of those links up once I've finished filming the video, and over on YouTube I'll put them up there too. Hi Kay, how are you? Lovely to have you with us today. Hi Cheryl, lovely to have you with us as well. Thank you for joining us, ladies. All right, so I am going to just grab that link for you now for that class. That's the February card buffet. I'm going to copy that, and I'm just going to put that straight into the comments now. So anybody who is with me live, if you're interested in that, if you are local, the classes are held in Western Sydney. So if you are in Sydney or you'd like to travel to Sydney for the class, you are welcome to do that. So just so you know where the classes are. Okay. All right, so that is that. And the next thing too, just quickly, is my January tutorial bundle. Don't forget, I've got that available now too. There's only a few more days till February, so then I will be promoting the February tutorial bundle, but this one will still be available anyway if you want to go back and purchase previous ones. I do need to update my blog because I think I'm a little bit behind with updating my blog with the most recent tutorials. But any of these, oh, that's okay, Kay, no problem. It's a little bit far for you to travel. That's all right, no worries at all. But perhaps you would like to come to one of my other in-person classes at some stage. If you are down in Sydney, then that would be lovely as well. No worries at all. Yes, so my tutorial bundle, you can get that if you are a customer of mine and you shop with me and you spend over $75, you will get that from me as a thank you gift. But if you are a demonstrator yourself, or if you already have your own demonstrator, you can purchase this for $28. Now this can be purchased globally as well because it's a PDF. I can send that all around the world. So that's 28 Australian dollars. And there are 42 projects in that tutorial bundle. Lots with the new mini catalog. There's some annual catalog products used in some of them, and also some online exclusive products used in some of those as well. So yeah, so great projects. I'll hold that up really close so you can see. Beautiful projects in there. So let me know if you would like to get your hands on that, and I would love to get that to you. All right, so we might jump into our project today. Oh, hi Glenda, how are you? Great to have you with us. Okay, we might jump in. So, oh, I didn't ask everybody how their weekend was. I always ask you how your weekend was. I'm so sorry, I'm just getting ahead of myself. Share with me how your weekend was. Did you do anything special? Did you just have a relaxing time? Perhaps you did some crafting. Let me know in the comments what you got up to over the weekend. We had, actually Saturday night, I had an online class. I had a kit together class, and some of the ladies who were planning to come couldn't come at the last minute, so it ended up just being myself and one other lady, and we had a great time. We made some beautiful projects. We used different kits, and we had a great time. We had 2 hours, I think we went 2.5 hours in the end, of crafting and chatting, and it was really, really lovely. So it was a lovely, relaxed evening. I'm planning to put on one of those kit together online classes once a month if I can. that's the plan. We'll see how we go. So look out for my next one. You can purchase your kits in my online store, and then you can come along, bring them along, and we just meet on Zoom. So you can do it from home. You can be in your jammies if you want to be. It's just really relaxed, and it's just a great fun time to get together, craft together, and chat, and then share our projects as we go along. So that was really lovely. Oh, it's too hot to craft for you, Glenda. Is it a hot one up there today, is it? I have to say, I haven't poked my nose out the door today. I've been inside all day, but it looks warm outside here today too. It's very, very sunny. Yeah. Oh, Kay had a great Australia Day lunch. 150 people. Wow. That's amazing. So many people. You had fun. You had a lovely lunch. Oh, that's fantastic. Did you have some traditional Aussie food, Kay, for Australia Day? I cracked out the lamingtons, the gluten-free lamingtons. I made sure I had some gluten-free lamingtons ready for Friday. I may have already opened them the day before. Couldn't wait. They're just too yummy. Yeah, and then yesterday, that's right. Amber and I did some cooking with all of our peaches, because we've got one peach tree. It looks like we've got a whole orchard, but we have got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of peaches. I had been, when they first started dropping, I had been sharing them with friends and neighbours, but then my husband came down with the dreaded lurgy, and so now I don't feel that I can share them with anyone, because, you know, I don't know if Amber and I are carrying the virus or not. But anyway, hubby is locked away. I shouldn't say that. He is in isolation. He's got our whole big bedroom all to himself, and our ensuite. We've set him up with a table, a chair, his laptop. He's got a TV. He's happy. He's not feeling great, but he's doing a lot better. He's okay. But yes, he's not allowed out until the 10 days. Till the 10 days period passes, and then yes, so thankfully we have a spare room now that my other daughter has moved to Queensland. So that's where I am right now, or not right now. Right now I'm in my craft room, but that's where I'm sleeping right now. Yes, I don't want his bugs. I don't want his germs. So yeah, so we're being very careful, sanitizing everything, wearing masks around the house in the common areas, so that, you know, just in case we're carrying something, we don't want to pass it on to each other, the rest of us. Yeah, so just really bad timing, but anyway, it is what it is, and it happens, so just got to go with it. Very hot and muggy. Oh, since before Christmas, Glenda. Oh, okay, yes. Yeah, it has been a really muggy summer, hasn't it? It has down here too. Very, very muggy. We had a couple of cooler days where it was a bit overcast, but I think even one of those days, it was still muggy. Yeah. So, yeah. So anyway, yes, so we have all these peaches, and that's where my story was going. We have all these peaches. If my husband wasn't sick, we'd be sharing them with everyone and anyone, but I don't feel I can do that and risk other people potentially getting sick. I don't know if the fruit would carry those germs, I don't know. But if any of my local people would like some peaches and you're willing to take the risk, I can bag them up for you and leave them on the front porch. Just let me know if you would like some. But just know that, yes, my husband is unwell. So there's that. So anyway, yesterday I made some stewed peaches for the first time since high school, year 9 in high school, which was a long time ago, 1984. I think that was when, yeah, I was living in Mildura in Victoria at that time, and I kept my cookery textbook since then, because it's got some great recipes in it. And because I've never stewed fruit since then. Mum was the one who always did that. I left all of that up to Mum. And as I posted yesterday, I wish I had paid more attention when I was young as to how to go about doing all of that, because Mum used to do the stewed fruits, the jams. I mean, she did all the baking and the cooking, and she was just an amazing cook. and she didn't need recipes most of the, oh, she did have some recipes actually. I did inherit her secret recipes. But a lot of the time she just went from her head knowledge or from taste, and she was very, very great at cooking. Anyway, oh, hence my vintage oven brooch today, my vintage stove, my upright stove. I wore that one today because we had been cooking yesterday, and the colors kind of go with our card today and with my shirt, which kind of also goes with the card. And then I've got my little recipe book here too. So that's why I chose those ones to wear today. Yeah, so anyway, I did stewed peaches. They turned out so yummy, and had them for dessert, had some of them for dessert with ice cream. Better than tinned peaches or, you know, jarred peaches or two fruits or anything like that. They were so yummy. And then Amber made a beautiful peach crumble, which is so yummy. It wasn't ready to eat until like early hours of the morning, so we were eating peach crumble at like 1 a.m. this morning. I was like, I just need to try some before I go to bed. And it was so good. She did such a great job. It was the first time she'd made peach crumble, so yeah. Anyway, so that was yesterday. It took so long cutting up all those peaches and peeling them, and we've still got oodles, and more have fallen from the tree overnight, so there's probably another 50 or so to pick today. Anyway, we'll see how we go. Oh, Kay said they could bring a bucket and pick their own. Well, that's an idea too. They could actually. The tree is covered by netting though, so if they were happy to happy to go under the netting, I could open up the side gate and let them through that way. And then, yeah, that's a good idea, Kay. I should post that on my private page, my private profile, my personal profile, I should say, and let my local friends know if they want to come and pick some. So yeah. Hey Dimity, how are you? Great to have you here. All right, so we will jump in to our project. Now today's project, well, let me turn the camera down and then I'll show you the project and I'll tell you about it as we craft. Now, as I said, feel free to keep chatting. Feel free to ask me any questions as we're going. I hope that you will pick up some tips and tricks along the way. Hi Deborah, how are you? Great to have you with us today. Hey Sue. Sue said if I lived closer, I would come and pick some. Oh, you would be welcome to, Sue. There's so many. We can't, honestly, I'm throwing out so many every day because they're so ripe. They're going moldy so quickly. We can't keep up with them. We've just got so many. And they're all different sizes. We've got really little ones, big ones. They're just, yeah. If anyone is a jam maker, yeah, let me know if you would like peaches. If you're local, come and get them. Yeah, anyway, all right, let's tip the camera down to the desk. Stew and freeze them. Yes, that's what I started to do yesterday, Glenda. So I did, I stewed my first lot just to have a go to see how they turned out, and they turned out beautifully. I was very impressed. And I took a small portion of those and I froze them. And then I was going to defrost them to see how they defrost, to see if they, like if it spoils them or if they still are any good. But I thought even doing that, they'd be good in smoothies and things like that. So I think I'm going to need to do some more. I'll do some, I think we're going to have another session tonight of peeling and cutting up some, yeah, some more peaches to stew them and freeze them. So yeah, but the stewed ones are so yummy. All right, let's tip the camera down. We'll keep chatting as we craft. Who's crafting along with me today? Let me know in the comments. All right, let me just adjust my camera for you. Oh, it's gone all wonky. Hang on, let me just fix this up here. Tighten everything up so everything stays put where it's meant to. One of these days I'll develop a much more professional system of doing this, but you know, it works. It works, so we go with it. There we go. My lighting, however, I know I keep talking about my lighting. I need to stop talking about it and just do it. Just invest in my new lights that I really need. Oh, we're so wonky. Hang on a sec. Why is that so wonky? Is that any better? Ah, that's better. That's what it was. It wasn't, the camera wasn't sitting flat. Ah, you know what I forgot today? I nearly forgot my host code and my blog link, so you know where to go shopping if you're looking for the products that I'm using today. All right, so let's pop this up here. Oops, that's too high, you can't see it. I'll come down a little bit more. There we go. All right, so if you're looking for the products that I'm using today, you can find them in my online store. And as I said, I will be putting the project up on my blog in the next couple of days. So you can find all of that here on my blog at mandyspapercraftcreations.blogspot.com, and then you click on the shop button at the top and that'll take you through to my online store. If you're shopping with me, be sure to use my my host code. This is my January 2024 host code. Every month I have a new one, but be sure to pop this code in, and you'll put that in above your shopping cart on the first page, and just check that you are shopping with me, okay? Unless you are a demonstrator, of course, and you're shopping under yourself. But if you're shopping, if you want to be shopping with me, then definitely make sure that my name is on your shopping page in case anything goes awry, and because sometimes some of these links, they go a bit funny and you just never can tell. Anyway, let me show you what we're going to be playing with today. We're going to be playing with some products from Sale-A-Bration and also some products from the mini catalog, but I'll show you the main product first, which is going to be from Sale-A-Bration. So anyone who doesn't know about Sale-A-Bration, Sale-A-Bration ran, well, it started on the 4th of January. It runs until the 29th of February. And during Sale-A-Bration, you can earn free products from this little brochure. And there's a few ways that you can do that. I just noticed I've got ink on my brochure. I wonder when I did that. it's purple, so probably last week. So there's lots of products in here that you can earn for free, and the way that you earn them is by shopping, hosting, or joining. Now, if you're shopping, if your order goes over $90, there are certain products that you can choose from as a free choice with a $90 purchase. Okay, so we've got the watercolor melon stamp set. There's some designer series paper, more paper, beautiful paper over here. This is the one I used last week when I was making the fun fold card, the fun fold pop-up card. If you saw that one, that's what we use. There's another stamp set, which is really cute, great for baby cards. Oh, there goes my computer, just went offline, but my iPad is still going, so it's all good. Some more beautiful designer series paper. That's a softly stippled. I've got that one too, but I haven't used it yet. There's some embellishments. Oh, back here there's also some ribbon. You might miss that, so check for that on page 6. The pool party crinkle ribbon, that's really pretty. Got some embellishments, the opaque faceted gems. Actually, I've got a packet of those. Just have one on my desk. Here they are here. That's the opaque faceted gems. They're really lovely. I love those colors too. They're fantastic. There's more hiding up under there that you can't see, but they come in the 3 colors and the 2 different sizes. Then you've got more designer series paper. You've got a sentiment stamp set with lots of different sentiments, even a Mother's Day and Father's Day sentiments on there, which is great. Some more amazing designer series paper. This one, the Trusty Tools designer series paper has been very, very popular. And a lot of the products in this brochure coordinate with other products either in the mini catalog or the annual catalog as well, which is fantastic, and tells you on each of the pages what coordinates with what. Then we've got the Jungle Pals, which is also, you can also choose for free if you spend $90. And then there are some products that you can choose for free if you spend over $180. So we've got the Jungle Pals dies, which coordinate with the stamp set. These ones you can earn, or you can choose with a purchase over $180. And then this one is the one we're going to use today. So this is the Softly Sophisticated bundle, and you have the stamp set and the embossing folder that come together as a bundle. Sorry, that light is reflecting a little bit there. Let me hold that up. When you order over $180. So that's the bundle we're going to be playing with today. It's really beautiful. And then there's also this stamp set that you can choose as well, which is the detailed dogwood, which is beautiful for vintage. If you love vintage, that's gorgeous, and it coordinates with the Pedal Park Builder Punch as well. All right, and then the other thing is too, if you join during Sale-A-Bration until the 29th, up until the 29th of February, you choose $235 worth of product to put into your starter kit. You only pay $169 for that, plus you get free shipping. And then on top of that as well, during Sale-A-Bration, you get to choose either the Glass Mat Studio, which has the glass mat, the silicone mat, and the cleaning cloth, which is a great crafting tool. Or you can choose the option 2, which is an additional $51 of product of your choice in your starter kit. And then from there, once you join, you get to have a 20% discount on all of your Stampin' Up! Products. You'll be joining a fantastic crafting community. We love welcoming new team members into our team, so we would love to have you as part of I would love to have you as part of our crafting community. And there's so many other benefits of joining Stampin' Up! And there's no lock-in period or anything like that. You can come and go whenever you want, stay as long as you like, leave whenever you need to. There's no problem with that. And if you decide that you don't want to be a demonstrator anymore, it's easy. You just come back as a customer. So no exit penalties or anything like that. You get to keep your kit. You don't have to give that back. Yeah. So, but you get so much more value. It is the best value in the catalog, the joining offer, the starter kit offer. Plus during Sale-A-Bration you get all the additional things. So if you would like more information about that, then please let me know. And then if you're interested in gathering with your friends and hosting an event, then there's other perks as well for that. If you have sales of over $500, then you get an added $50 of rewards, as well as the usual Stampin' rewards as well. For sales over $250. So yeah, so I can give you more information about that if that's something you're interested in as well. So that's about Sale-A-Bration and the products we're using today. And then the other thing we're going to be using today is a set of dies from the mini catalog, which I used actually 2 weeks ago. It wasn't last week, it was 2 weeks ago, from the Painted Lavender Suite. Ooh. No, Perennial Lavender Suite, sorry. Perennial Lavender Suite. And the dies are these ones here, the Perennial Postage Bundle dies. We're going to be using those ones. We're not using the stamp sets, we're just using the dies. Okay, so let's get to it, and I will show you what we are going to be creating today. We are creating this beautiful card today, only we're going to use a different sentiment. So we're going to just change that up a little bit. All right, let me just go back. Oh, hi, Laurie. How are you? Great to have you with us. Oh, Deborah said she missed the opaque faceted gems on her first order. Thank goodness she made another order. Oh, fantastic, Deborah. You were able to get them. That's awesome. Oh, that's really good. Yes, they are quite hard. Those and the ribbon, they were quite hard to see in the brochure. And I think a lot of people were missing them until I started pointing them out, and other demonstrators obviously have been pointing them out too. So this is the beautiful card we're going to be making today. Now this one was designed by Amber, my lovely assistant, aka also my daughter. But Amber designed this one, and it's really, really pretty. And so I was still deciding yesterday what I was going to create today. because I had a few other ideas, and then I said to her, you know what, can I create that beautiful card that you made, because I really love it and I would love to show everybody how to make that. So this is the one that I've chosen for today. She made an extra one as well using these products, but I'm going to show you that one at the end. So remind me, because I often forget when we get to the end, so remind me to show it to you. But this is one we're going to do today. So let me show you the products up close. So here is the Softly Sophisticated, hang on a minute, I'll just move the card out of the way for a minute. Oops. I pulled out the dies instead. The Softly Sophisticated stamp set and embossing folder. Now this is a 3D embossing folder. So it's got really great detail, and I love the texture in this one. You'll see it more when I use it later. I'll show it to you on the cardstock, but I love the design on this one. And this one is a 2-step stamp set. So it's a photopolymer. I've already taken out some of the stamps here that I've put on the block that we're going to be using today. But it's a photopolymer stamp set. And the reason it's a 2-step stamp set is because you've got the leaves and then you've got the flowers that coordinate with the leaves, and the same with this set here as well. You've got the leaves and the stems there, and then you stamp the flowers separately on top of them, which is great. I love that, because then you can do your leaves in one color and your flowers in a different color, which I love. Sometimes if you get a stamp that has everything all together in one stamp, you either have to choose one color to stamp the whole thing, or use some added techniques, or use like a black, like a memento tuxedo black, and then color them. But these are solid shapes, so yeah. And then you've got 3 beautiful sentiments there. Hello there, you're in my thoughts, and I really appreciate you. So you can use them for lots of different occasions. And then these are the dies. I'll show you the dies a little bit closer when we go to use them, because we're using a couple of different ones, so we'll go through them more when we get to that point. Alrighty, let me show you the colors. Hang on, I'm just going to move this other card over out of the way. These are the colors that we're using for the card. Now the card I'm using today, the card I'm creating today, you could actually make this with any other floral stamp, okay? Or you might even want to change that, and rather than having a floral stamp, you might want to have like a little cutesy stamp, or whatever you want to use. So if you would like to make this along with me today, feel free to grab out some supplies, because we're going to make this from scratch. I don't have anything pre-cut, because I made the decision at like 1 o'clock this morning that we were going to make this. So I just had the cardstock colors and all of the supplies out. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to tell you the colors that we're using and the products. I've shown you the products. And then if you want to craft along, you can. If you would like to watch it back later and recreate it later, then that's fine too. Oh, Glenda said, lovely card, Amber. It is a lovely card, isn't it, Glenda? She does a beautiful job. All right, so we have got Basic White, Crumb Cake, Lost Lagoon, Highland Heather, and Gorgeous Grape. Okay, so we've got those colors. In ink, we've just got the Lost Lagoon, the Highland Heather, and the Versamark, as well as some white embossing powder. So you're going to need your heat tool today, because we're going to heat emboss that sentiment. And then to embellish, I'm going to be using some linen thread. Actually, I'll leave these here so you can see everything together. Some linen thread, and then some basic rhinestones. I've also got my embossing toolkit for doing the embossing. So I've got my tray, my embossing buddy, my brush, and my tweezers are here somewhere. Let me find them. Where are they? Oh, there they are. Whoops. And my tweezers. Now these you can purchase together in, they come together in a kit like that. So they are available in the online store as well. So look for the embossing Additions toolkit if you're looking for that. Okay, so I'll leave all those out because we're going to use those as well. Alrighty, so is anybody going to be crafting along with me today? You're going to make this project with me? Or are you creating your own projects today? Oops, hang on, I'm just moving all that out of the way. All right, so let's get started. We are going to, I don't actually have the measurements all written up, so we're going to measure as we go, and I'll give you all those measurements as we go. All right, so we're going to start with a card base. You are going to need a paper trimmer because we're going to be doing some cutting, and you'll need a large die cutting machine that you can put the embossing folder through, because it's a large standard size embossing folder, and the dies. I was going to say the dies for the die cutting machine. All right, now I've got a piece of A4 basic white cardstock. We're going to cut that in half. Okay, so we are going to measure at 14.85 centimeters. That is exactly half. Now, if you don't like doing the 0.5, you can go 14.9 or 14.8, but just know the rest of the measurements will be a little bit out. They'll be like half a mil out, because I always do 14.85 because that is exactly half. All right, then we're going to turn it on the long side, and we're going to score that at 10.5 centimeters or 10.5 centimeters. Give that a go with our scoring blade. And then we're going to use the edge here and the edge here. Just pop your card up there in the corner, and we're going to fold that. Give that a nice press. Then I'm going to take my bone folder and just burnish that fold line. Okay, all right, so that's our card base. Very easy. Now the next layer, I'm pretty sure that's going to be our standard layer, but let me just measure it. I think it's going to be a 2 mil border, so it's probably 14.45. Let's see, we're going to go 14.45 by, actually she's taken it a bit bigger. How much? Oh, it is 2. How much of millimeters did you give me, Amber? I think you've only done a 1.5, haven't you? Or have you done 2? Oh no, she might have done 2. Okay, so we're going to go 14.45. Okay, 14.45 by 10.1. And that's going to be your Lost Lagoon. So what I'm going to do first, oh, it's 10.2 by 14.55. You changed it on me. There you go. Okay, I'm going to write that down. Oop, she changed it on me. Thankfully, she's here in the comments with us. All right, let's write that down. So, Lost Lagoon is, what did she say? 10.2. See, I don't have my glasses on. That's what it is. 5. Can't fit that in. 10.2 by 14.55. She's got a good memory. She made this a couple of weeks ago. Centimeters. There we go. Okay. I made it larger as you end up with a larger border after distressing. Okay. That's why. That's why. Alrighty. Thank you, Amber. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to just cut this in half to begin with. And then I'm going to chop this piece in half. So I'm chopping that down to, just like we did with the card front, but instead of scoring at 10.5, I'm going to cut it at 10.5. And that just means I've got a full card base piece plus a card front piece that I can use for other projects. And I'm going to put those aside. Okay. Hey Vicky, how you going? Great to have you here. All right, then I'm going to cut this at 10.2 by 14.55. So halfway between 14.5 and 14.6. There we go. Okay, so that is that layer. Right, next layer is our crumb cake piece. So again, I'm going to take my full piece of crumb cake. This is a full A4 piece. I'm going to cut it down into 14.85. So that gives me one full card base. And oh, beautiful warm sunny day there too, Vicky. That's great. Good, good, good. Seems to be warm and sunny everywhere today. Then I'm going to cut this one at 10.5. Okay, so again, we've got a card front piece. And this is going to be my working piece today. All right, now with this one, she cut it at, that's right, it was 10 point, so we're going to have the 10.5 height. Well, in fact, we're going to cut that down. And then the width, let's see what she made the width. The width just needs to be the width that the die will fit, actually. In fact, we could probably leave that as the size that it is, but I might just trim it down just to be on the safe side. Let's see, we've just got to fit the die across there. So if we die cut that at 9 centimeters, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to grab the die out and measure the width of the die. And then that will tell us how much cardstock we need. Rather than run the whole piece through, you could just put the die on there and run the whole piece through your die cutting machine. But sometimes if your plates are really cut up and really marked, it can mark the rest of your cardstock. So I like to trim it down first, and then that way I can save that piece of cardstock for another project or a sentiment or something like that. So let's see which die she used. I think she used the second largest. Let me see. Measure that. Yep, second largest. Now these are the perennial postage dies from the mini catalogue. Okay, they're part of the perennial lavender suite. And she's used the second largest one. And I'm just going to measure the width that we need, just with a little bit of extra at the sides, just to, you know, so that we've got enough to sort of hold on to. I think it's going to be about 9. Oh no, we're going to go a bit wider. 9.5. We'll cut that at 9.5 centimeters wide. So we've got 10.5 by 9.5 or 9.5. Okay, and see, then we've got this piece that we can keep for another project. So we'll set that aside. And this is going to be cut. Now make sure when you cut this that you're cutting it with, you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to put a pencil mark on here. It's going to be covered up so it won't matter. But I'm going to put a pencil mark so I know it's that way up, because it's going to be going across the card that way. Okay, you don't want to accidentally die cut it that way, because then it'll be the wrong height. Okay? So you're cutting it across the shorter, well, your die is going to run along the longer edges. Okay, so your long die edges go against the longer edge of your cardstock. Does that make sense? Or you just put a little arrow like I did to make it easier so you don't remember, because we're going to pop that aside for the moment. Okay. Now, if we just come back and have a little quick look at these dies, you'll notice with the perennial postage dies, you've got these two large frames, these two large rectangle frames. Then you've got all these little rectangle frames. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 little rectangle postage frames, which do look like little postage stamps. Then you've got 2 squares. You've got like a ticket label one. Then you've got these 2 little ones. You might be wondering what they are, but these are to create the holes for if you want to make tags, and you can make like a little reinforcer with this one, and this one will actually just cut a hole. Then you've got this one here that you can use for a ribbon hole as well, if you want to make a tag to put a ribbon through. And then this one here, it's a little postmark or little postage mark, but it's actually, it's upside down because it does have a butterfly on it. This one just embosses. It doesn't cut, it just embosses. Okay, all the other ones cut, this one just embosses. So there you go. So that's the dies. Now, while we've actually got the postage stamp, you know that little piece I had left over? I think it might just fit this little one here. I didn't plan that ahead, but now that I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, actually, that's probably going to be the right size. So I'm just going to see which one she used. No, not that one. She used the larger one. This one here. Let me just double check. Yep. Okay, so of those smaller rectangles, she's used the largest one. And if you line that up, yep, that'll just fit on the width of that piece that we cut off, that other piece. So remember, we cut that off, well, where do we cut that off? There. Okay, at 9.5. So we cut that at 9.5. And then the leftover just fits the width of that die. So that is perfect, okay? So we'll keep that piece for this one. So that worked out well. Good planning, Amber. I don't know if you planned that on purpose, but that's how it worked out. So that worked out really well. All right, the next layer we're going to cut is, so we've got our base, we've got our Lost Lagoon, we've got our crumb cake. Now we need our white pieces, okay? So we're going to grab, remember we had that white cardstock that we set aside from our base. We're now going to use that piece, and I'm going to cut that at 10. So this is half of a piece of A4. I'm going to cut that at 10.5. Oops. The blade was trying to jump out of the track then. And put this one aside. And then from this one, we're going to cut that at, so this is going to be, oh, in fact, you know what, this one, I just remembered this one here, it needs to be a bit shorter because it needs to be the same, because we're going this way, it needs to be the same length as this one. I forgot to trim that one down. So that was 10.2. Just double check. Yes. So that one needs to be trimmed down at 10.2. So we'll just trim that. So I'll write that down. Crumb cake, 10.2 by 9.5. Okay, so it's going to be, so if you're not sure which way, just line it up on your Lost Lagoon piece. Doesn't matter that they're not lined up. All right, so we just need to trim off a little smidge off the bottom of that one. So we're going to trim that at 10.2. Nearly forgot to do that. Okay, and then now that should be the same, width as that, as the Lost Lagoon piece. Okay, all right. Then this one also needs to be 10.2. So 10.12. Hang on a minute before I cut that. Let me just double check. So it'll be 10.2 that way. Actually, I might, you know what, I might cut the width of it first and then I'll trim it down to 10.2 because then that'll leave us extra here that we can then use for this piece. So let's measure the width of this one. So this is 7, oh my goodness, I need my glasses. 7, hang on, I've got to put it over under the light. 7.4. 7.4. 7.4. So the white is 7.4 by 10.2. Okay. Yep, that's it. All right. So let's cut it at 7.4 first. 7.4. Okay, that's our spare piece. So set that aside. And then by 10.2, 1, 2. There we go. So then now that should fit on that piece. Okay, and we're going to die cut. We're going to die cut our crumb cake piece. Okay. Then we need to create this little panel here. And that one is, I'm going to take it over to the light. Hang on a sec. It's hard without my glasses. 4.4 by 4.4 by 6.3. 4.4 by 6.3. I'm writing it down. Just double checking. You know that what they always say, measure twice, cut once. Yep. So 4.4 by 6.3, and we can use this little piece that we chopped off. Okay. So we're going to go 4.4. 4.4 by 6.3. 6.3. Wow, I really need my glasses when I'm doing these measurements. And then that is that one there. Okay. All right, so then we've got that little piece there. Now our last piece we're going to cut is this one here, this Highland Heather. And then we've actually got this little white piece left over. So you can save that, set that aside, that extra little piece that we don't need, that we cut off, because you can use that for sentiments, or maybe you could even make an extra, use this for an extra card to make an extra little image like that. All right, now the last piece is the Highland Heather. I have no idea how far under there she's gone. Oh, yep, I can see. About there. The length doesn't really matter so long as it tucks under. So that's 8 centimeters. So Highland Heather is 8 centimeters by, let's measure the width, 3. 3? No, it's not 3, it's 2.8. 2.8. 2.8. Okay, so 2.8. All right, so let's bring in our Highland Heather. Oh, do you know what? I had out the Gorgeous Grape before, thinking we were using Gorgeous Grape, but we're not using Gorgeous Grape on this one. Gorgeous Grape was on the other card that she made. So we won't be using the Gorgeous Grape cardstock today. We're only using the Highland Heather. All right, again, I'm going to cut this down in half again. So I'm cutting it down to quarters. So I've got my card base piece that I'll set aside, my card front piece that I'll set aside for another project, and then this is my little workable piece that I'm going to use today. All right, so I'm going to cut this piece now. I'm going to turn it on the long side. I'm going to cut that at 2.8. 2.8. And then, is that right? Oh yeah. Oh, actually, I might have cut that a bit narrower. Did I cut that at 2? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold your horses. No, I didn't cut that at 2.8. I didn't cut that at 2.8. Let's do that again. 2.8. Yeah, no, I cut that one narrower. Okay, so this is 2.8. In fact, I think hers is wider than 2.8. Oh my goodness. Let me grab my glasses. Hang on, everyone. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's put these glasses on and see. Let's measure that again. Is it 2.8? It's actually 2.9. 2.9. It'll depend on your sentiment. 2.8 might be okay, but it'll depend on your sentiment. Now let me just see. I've got a sentiment here. I'm going to see, is that going to fit on 2.8? Because 2.8 will be okay if it fits. I might need the extra millimeter because I'm using a different sentiment than what she's used. Actually, if you were using that sentiment, 2.8 would fit, but I'm going to just cut it again. And this time I'm going to cut it at 2.9 just to get that extra millimeter, because that's going to make a difference when I go to do. 1 millimeter doesn't sound like a lot, but when you need just that little bit of extra height for your sentiment, it can make all the difference. Now let's see if I fit that. Yes, I'll fit that on there now. Yeah, good. Okay, so mine is 2.9, but if you already cut yours at 2.8, that's okay. If you're using the You're in My Thoughts sentiment, or if you're using a different sentiment altogether, not. 2.8 might be fine for you. All right, and then the length, I'm measuring that at 8 centimeters. Okay, 8. There we go. All right. Now, all these offcuts that we've got, hang on to them because you can still use them. And these are the ones that I measured at 2.8. I can use them for other cards anyway, so I will keep those. Okay. So that's all of our paper trimmer work. And these are all of your pieces now. Okay. So they're all your pieces that you have now. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we are going to do the die cutting and the embossing. So we need our crumb cake pieces and our larger white piece. Okay, put everything else to the side. I'm going to move my card to the side for a moment too. I'm going to be using my large Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine because of that embossing folder. If you miss any of those measurements, don't panic because I will put them all up on, I can take my glasses off now. I'll put them all up on my blog when I blog. Hey Jenny, how are you? Great to see you. Are you still caravanning, Jenny, or are you back home now? All right, so we're gonna get the big machine out. We're gonna do our embossing first. So let's grab our embossing folder. So this is the Softly Sophisticated, which is part of the bundle from Sale-A-Bration that I was mentioning before. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're going to put our now we want our design. So our design, if you can see the design there, actually, I think you can see that quite well on camera. I'll move it over a little bit here. Actually, let me take it over this side. You'll probably see it a bit better. The design sort of runs down that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our cardstock in so that, let's move the machine over for a minute, so that the design is going to run down our paper. Now, because it is sort of a straightish design, you might want to try and line it up with the dotted lines in the design of your embossing folder. Okay, so try and line that up nice and straight. Okay, so for embossing, this is a 3D embossing folder. So you need your base plate number 1. You're going to put your embossing folder down, hinge first. Okay, so the Stampin' Up! Logo should be at the back end and the hinge is going to go through first. And then you're going to put down your number 4 grey plate over the top. Now just stagger your plates back a little bit so that they're not completely butted up against each other. See how they're staggered back a little bit? And that just helps them feed through the rollers. Okay. And we're just going to roll that through. And there we've got that beautiful texture. Look at that. Isn't that stunning? That's just gorgeous. Isn't that just so pretty? And that comes up really well when you ink it as well with the blending brushes. Comes up really beautifully. All right, so that's that piece. Now we're going to be doing some die cutting. So we need to change our plates. So I'll put that one away. We'll take off our embossing plate. And this time we're going to have our number 1 base plate, our number 2 thin die adapter. Now mine's bowed a little bit, so I'm going to turn mine upside down. Then we're going to need a clear plate number 3 on the bottom. We're going to grab our cardstock. Now remember which way up. So that's, I've got my arrow there. Grab my die, line that up, and I am going to use a little bit of washi tape, not washi tape, sorry, my my post-it tape. going to use a little bit of that just to hold that die in place. Now remember, this is a straight edge die, so whenever you've got a straight edge die, put it at a slight angle when it's going through the machine, and it just helps the machine feed it through so that it doesn't catch on the rollers and cause that big speed bump. Okay, and then we're going to put a number 3 plate over the top. Runs through beautifully and smooth, and then we end up with a piece with the postage edges. Excuse my dry hands, I've been washing them fervently over the last few days. Okay, so we've got that piece done, and now we can move on to we'll reuse our tape for the next piece. You might even find a use for these little offcut bits too, because they're pretty cute actually. They'd make a nice little border. Could keep, actually I might keep those. They might make a nice little border for another project. Hang on to those. All right, so now we're going to grab the largest of the smaller rectangles, postage labels, and we're going to get our little piece of crumb cake. So we'll get our plates lined back up. Now again, we should stagger these plates a little bit. Your base plate and your thin die adapter can be butted up against each other, but the other ones, just stagger them back a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to, now because this is almost edge to edge, you line it up really carefully. Okay, and I'm going to adhere that top and bottom this time. Make sure that we cut right to the edge of that piece. Put our clear plate number 3 over the top. Make sure they're lined up. And there we've got our little postage label, which we're going to use as a mat. Okay, so that's all our die cutting, so we can move that away. And I'm just removing these because I'll use these tapes again. Now, if you don't have these postage dies, you can do the same project just using straight rectangles, or if you've got different dies, different rectangle dies, you could do the same thing and just use the rectangle dies that you have. Okay, or you might even like to use like border dies for this one here, and then just have a plain rectangle here. You can change it up however you like, just by using what you have. Okay, now the other thing we're going to do is we're going to angle this piece here. So I'm just going to grab my snips and we're just going to cut at a diagonal. So we want the point to be the top right hand corner. Okay, so we're just going to cut at a bit of an angle. You can cut it at whatever angle you like. If you like a sharper angle or a blunter angle. So just cut like that with the scissors. I don't know how many degrees that is. I'm not great with maths, so in case you couldn't tell. So yeah. All right, so we've got that piece and this piece. It's a bit curly because it's gone through the embossing folder. Okay, so you've got that one and that one. This is the one we're going to stamp on, and then you've got that one. And then this one, we're going to do a bit of stamping on and then some distressing. So we're going to be stamping, stamping, stamping. So these ones can now all go to the side. And we're going to work on these 3. Did you notice that we don't have any designer series paper on this card at all? It's all just stamping. So this is a great card to use some of those stamp sets that perhaps have been sitting on your shelf for a little while, that haven't had any love for a while, and without the need for any designer series paper. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll do the embossing last, and we're going to do these ones first. So I'm going to bring in, now because I am using photopolymer stamps, I do like to use my Stamp and Pierce mat. This is a foam mat. It gives you a bit of cushioning underneath your stamping, which then in turn gives you a nicer finish with your stamps. Okay, so we've got Highland Heather and Lost Lagoon. I've got my stamps on my blocks already. So I've got this one here, which is the leaves, and then the flowers, which are a separate stamp. So you stamp those 3 in one stamp, and then these ones are in the other stamp. Okay, so we're going to stamp first of all with our leaves. Now, as I said, Amber actually created this card. It's a beautiful card, and this is the first time that I'm using these stamps, so I'm very excited. All right, so we're just going to line these up, and it's going to be down about there. Stamp that down. Oh, on our little piece. Oh, beautiful, look at that. Okay, and then we're going to line these ones up. So we'll just change our ink pads. Get our Highland Heather. Now, what you want them to do before you ink up your stamp is work out how your flowers are going to fit within the leaves. Okay, so we've got the flower bud. I'll just show you on the stamped one. I'll make sure I don't have ink. See how here you've got the little tiny flower bud here? So that's probably the line up point. You probably want to line that up there, and then these two sit there. This one sits quite close to the leaves there, and then this one's kind of on its own. So when you're lining your stamp up, just have a look first to make sure you can see where you're going to line it up. Okay, so you might need to turn it around a little bit to see how you're going to line that up. In fact, when I'm looking at this, I noticed here that the leaves here are sitting within the little dip in the petals of the flower. Can you see that? So if you line that part up there and you line up the little bud over here with the leaves for the little bud, that'll help you to line it up. All right, so let's have a go at that. Okay, inky inky, let's line that up. Beautiful, look at that. Gorgeous, so easy. You just got to look at it first to make sure you know how you're going to line it up. Alrighty, now I have got some scrap paper here. I'm just going to stamp some of that ink off to remove the excess before I clean it on my chamois. That way I don't have to clean my chamois as often. Okay. So I've got, you probably noticed I've got a dirty, really dirty side to my chamois, and I've got a more clean side. So I clean it on the really dirty side first, and then I give it a final clean on the clean side, and then that way I can make sure that my stamp's nice and clean. And then if you want to test it, then just take it to some scrap paper and stamp it off, and make one, it's drying the stamp, and two, it's making sure that you've cleaned all the ink off. Okie dokes. So that's our stamped piece. All right, so that's ready to go. Now this piece here, we're going to use our Versamark, and I am going to put that scrap paper underneath here because we're going to be stamping off the edges a little bit, and we're going to use our Versamark ink for this. We're going to get that leaf stamp again. Now this time we are just going to use those little tiny leaves at the top. Okay, so it's just these little ones here. When you look at this stamp here on the front, it looks like it's a separate stamp, but in fact it's part of this whole stamp that we just stamped. We're just using those little leaves at the top there. And we're going to create a background using those. We're going to be stamping them randomly. So what we want to do is we just want to ink up just those top leaves, okay? Just those top leaves. And we're just going to ink them randomly all over the card. Okay, you want to make sure you don't get any ink on the rest of your stamp. You're going to stamp some off the edges as well. Stamp them in all different directions. Keep turning your block. Whoop. So you just have to be a little bit patient with this step because this is just, you're just using a very small portion of the leaves. Now we are going to be covering up part of that with our panel in the middle there. So you don't have to do that whole section there. So let's come across to the other side. Oh, probably had those ones a little bit too lined up, but that's okay. Now, if you find, I'm finding I'm starting to get a little bit of extra ink on parts of the stamp there. So I'm just going to give it a little clean because I think I've just gone a little bit far with the ink there past that leaf. Just give that a little clean. So tell me, has anybody got this one yet? Has anybody purchased or redeemed for free this particular bundle from Sale-A-Bration? Let me know in the comments. Trying to get them so that they don't all go in the same direction. All right, so what we can do now is we can have a look to see where we're going to put our panel here, if we've got enough coverage of all of those all of those leaves. Okay, so I might put another one here. Oh, you've got this one, Dimity. Oh, fantastic. Have you used it yet? It's really pretty. And I might put another one here. Oh, okay, so that one's going to be, there's one just on the inside edge of there. Or maybe if I can move that panel over a little bit, we'll just see that one a bit there. Yeah, good. All right, I think that's, I might just put one more coming in from up here. There we go. All right, okay, so we don't need to worry about that panel because that's going to be covered up. All right, let's give this one a clean. So that is that one all done. Now I've got a little bit of extra ink here, but I'm not worried about that because that's going to be covered up. Okay, now we're going to go on to our sentiment, and then that will be our last stamping, and then we can put everything together. So the putting together should be pretty quick because it's just layer, layer, layer. Oh, we do need to do one more step with this piece. Actually, we're going to do some distressing around the edges, which is pretty quick too. But let's do our stamping. Okay, sentiment. I'm going to use I Really Appreciate You. So I'm going to ink that up with my Versamark. Oh, Embossing Buddy. Nearly forgot. All right, Embossing Buddy. So the Embossing Buddy is an anti-static pillow. So you just run that across your cardstock before you stamp, and then that way the cardstock doesn't pick up any of the oils from your skin or any fingerprints, anything like that when you go to use your embossing powder. All right, so I'm just going to line this up. I'm using my grid paper so that I can get this nice and straight. And I'm going to line this up. There we go. And then that way, now when because I use the embossing buddy, now when I use my embossing powder, if I used enough of the embossing buddy, it means that my powder is only going to stick to the ink and not to the rest of the cardstock. Because when it sticks to the rest of the cardstock, that's when you start to get the splatters, the little splatterings of embossing powder. I like to use the tip of my paintbrush just to tap the back. Some people flick, but I find whenever I flick, I don't know if I do it too hard, when I flick it releases too much of the embossing powder. So I like to just give a gentle tap with the paintbrush, and I find that that works really well. All right, and then you can return that back to the tub. I'm going to do that later just to save time, so I'm going to set that aside. And I will do that step later on. All right, I'm going to use my tweezers to hold that, and I've got my heat tool. Your heat tool, your Stampin' Up! Heat tool comes with 2 heat settings if you're unfamiliar with the Stampin' Up! Heat tool. Firstly, it's got a little footrest to keep the tip off your desk. Because it does get quite hot, although you've got the plastic protector. It's not quite as hot as if it didn't have the plastic protector. It's got 2 heat settings. Number 1 is great for if you're drying something, such as if you've done watercoloring or you're trying to dry some ink. Number 1 heat setting is great, but for heat embossing, we want number 2 setting. Okay, so I'm just going to turn that on. I'm going to let that heat up just for a moment. And then we're going to heat our embossing powder until it becomes shiny and raised. Okay, you can see that start to change, and as that changes, you just gently move your embossing tool. There we go, or your heat tool, I should say. So you don't need to do this bizzo. You just gently move it, and there you go, it's all done. Okay. That piece is done. All right. Now, I'll leave this here. I'll just move that. And we're going to do some scissor distressing on this piece here. So take your paper snips, open them up, hold the blades like that. So I've got 2 fingers on one side, 1 finger on the other side. I kind of tend to hook my finger in somewhere there. Just be careful that you don't put your fingers on the actual blades, obviously, because these are very, very sharp scissors. And what you're going to do is support your cardstock with your non-dominant hand. So I'm right-handed. So I'm supporting it with my right hand with the fingers behind there. I'm just going to drag the scissors along the edge. Now I've got a piece of paper underneath just to catch those fibers as they fall, because it is a little bit messy, this technique. Just going to move my hands down just to protect that cardstock, sort of to support it, I should say, not protect it, but support it, so that I don't, it doesn't bend or tear or do anything crazy that I don't want it to do. Now, if you find you get some little nicks or some little cuts in your cardstock as you're distressing, that's okay. That's good, because that's all part of the distressing technique. Now, often when I do this, I then ink the edges again as well with a sponge dauber, but I'm actually not going to do that today because Amber hasn't done that on hers. I'm just going to leave them raw like that. Okay, and just run your fingers along them to release any of those loose fibers. Brush that off. Okay, and that just gives you a little bit of interest. If you want to, you can bend up your corners a little bit. Give them a little bit of a tweak just to sort of distress it a bit more. If it bends a little bit more than what you wanted, it's okay. It's all part of the distressing technique. Okay. All right. So then that piece is ready to go. And you can see the mess that it makes. Now, some cardstocks are softer than others, so some you'll get more fibers than others. This one is a particularly soft one, the Lost Lagoon tends to be. Oops, so just try and get all these fibres. I'll brush them off onto my little paper there and put them in the bin. Okay. All right, so now we can put together all of our layers here. Okay, so first of all, I think we're going to adhere our stamped image to our little post label. So I'm going to use a dry adhesive for that because this is white cardstock and it's only the basic white, it's not the thick. And sometimes I find with the liquid glue, if you apply too much, you sort of can not see it through necessarily, but it's a little bit bumpy I tend to be quite heavy-handed with my glue. So when I'm adhering white, I often like to use a drier adhesive such as the Stamp & Seal or Tear and Tape, but you use whatever adhesive you prefer. And we're just going to stick that flat on here. Okay. All right, so we've got that one ready to go. Then we're going to adhere this piece to this piece. Okay, so our embossed piece to our crumb cake. So I'll use my Stamp & Seal again. Now this time I'm going to put, because this is an embossed piece, I'm going to add some extra across the middle because we've got a lot of texture in this one and it wants to try and curl a bit. Okay, now this one should line up top to bottom and you're just creating a border at the sides. I'm trying to get an even-ish border there on the sides. Here we go. Oh, didn't quite line that up properly. That's okay. It shouldn't be noticeable once we put that on. All right, give that a push. Okay, so there's those two pieces. And then this piece is going to be adhered to the card base. And that one's going to be flat as well. So I might just use, seeing as I've got the seal out, I'll just keep going with that. Okay, so let's line that up. If you like, I do like the liquid glue, the multi-purpose liquid glue, because then it gives you the wiggle room that you can, gives you a bit more time to line things up. But when you've got distressed edges like this, if you don't get it quite lined up, it's good because the edges are distressed, you kind of get away with it. But I think I've got that lined up okay. All right, so obviously we're having a landscape card. I showed that before. I don't think I actually mentioned it, but I did show that before. All right, so then this piece is going to go on. So we're going to pop that in from the edge about, I don't know how many centimeters. Let me check how many. You can just use your eye, but she's got it in about 2 centimeters. About 2 centimeters from the edge of the Lost Lagoon. So about there. It doesn't matter if it's not exactly. So we'll line that up. Oops, that's not straight. Hang on a minute. That's not straight. You know why? Because I didn't put this piece on straight. That's okay. We're going to cover part of that up. Okay, and then, so we're going to have this piece attached to this piece. I think, let me just check, yep. Okay, so you can put a bit of adhesive on the end of this piece here. And we're going to attach that to the back of this one here. Might take that in a little bit further. There we go. That looks a bit better. Just so we've got that sentiment more sort of centered. And let's just see. I'm just going to line this up. I'm going to line that up with. So I'm going to see if I got that straight. I think it's straight. Okay, and then these pieces are all going to have dimensionals under them to pop them up. Now, this one is going to be hanging off the edge there a little bit. Okay, so we don't want to put dimensionals too close to the edge. And then this edge here is also going to be hanging off. But I think, let's have a look at Amber's. Yeah, she still had dimensionals under that bit too. So we're going to flip it over upside down so we can kind of position this piece hanging off how we want to have it, and we can see where to add those dimensionals. Okay. So, oh, let me just check in the comments. Where's my take your pic tool? Oh, there it is. Got it. Let's see. Oh, hey, Julie. How are you going? Just saw that you had jumped on. Oh, you haven't used the stamp set yet, but you've used the embossing folder, Dimity. Oh, great. That's good. It's a beautiful embossing folder, isn't it? It's a really pretty one. I love the design on it. Okay, so let's put a dimensional over here and a dimensional over there. Oops. We'll go higgledy-piggledy like that. All right, actually, I'll leave that off because I'm going to take the backings off. Whoop. There we go. So is anybody else crafting today? How's everyone's day been? What have you all been up to today? Haven't been out to pick any peaches yet today, but I think there's going to be a lot again to be picked. All right, so then now we've got that all done, we're just going to line this up, and I'm just going to go about there-ish. Now just make sure that my sentiment is lined up with the bottom of the card. Make sure everything looks square. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to take some linen thread and we're going to tie a little bow. Oh, actually, I might already have a little bow in here. I've got a double bow. Would a double bow? Double bow is going to be too much. Oh, that's a shame. Could have used that. I've got all this extra twine in here still from other projects. I tend to keep them. I don't like to waste anything. Let's see if we can use this piece here. All these little threads here, I'll pop them back in. See if I can tie a bow that's long enough with this piece. I'm not sure if this one's going to be long enough or not. Nah, that one's too short. You know what? I'm going to get rid of that piece. Let's go with this one. Now, when you get your twine, your linen thread or any of your baker's twines, they can be quite curly-whirly from being rolled so tightly on the roll. Just take your bone folder, or you can use the back of your scissor blades and just run that through your fingers with your tool, and that will help to iron out some of those kinks. That's where they get that saying from, I'm sure, ironing out the kinks. All right, we'll tie our bow. And we don't want one too big because we've only got a small little. Not a lot today, Julie. House chores and washing. Oh, good day for washing today, actually. You also worked out your design for your team card swap. Oh, yay. Awesome. If you haven't been outside yet, then it's still quite hot. Oh, is it? Okay. Thank you for that. No, I haven't been outside today. Actually, I got Amber to take Callie out earlier. I was like, can you take her out? I'm busy. So I haven't poked my head out yet. So I might wait till it cools down a bit, and then I might take Callie out for a run out in the yard. For anyone who doesn't know, Callie is our little doggy, our little spoilt poochie. Okay, so then we've got our little bow, and I always like to, so I'll just check the size of my bow first. Yep, that's pretty good. And then I always like to just roughen up the edges a little, not the edges, the tails. So it's just kind of untwisting the fibers of the twine, which just gives, I never like blunt edges on my twine or my linen thread, and that just gives a little bit of extra texture, because you know I love my texture. All right, so we're going to take a glue dot now, because you might have seen me do this before. I've probably given this tip before, but I'll do it again for those who may not have seen it. The glue dots, often they're a little bit too big for what you need, and the newer glue dots I find are actually bigger than what our old glue dots were. So if you don't need a whole glue dot, what you can do is, I like to take my Take Your Pick tool. I grab part of the glue dot and then I twist my Take Your Pick tool. I hold the rest of the glue dot with my finger and then I pull, and I leave the rest of the glue dot there on the roll, because I only need a little bit. And then I use my nail, if you've got nails. If you haven't got nails, well, it should still work even if you've got short nails. I just roll it up to the tip of my Take Your Pick tool, and it creates like a little ball of glue. And then you just pop that onto the back of your linen thread, because the linen thread is the finest twine that we have in the range of products. And then we're just going to pop that on down here, and that will hold our little bow. Isn't that cute? So cute. So thank you so much, Amber, for designing this project for us. All right, let's get some bling. Now I've got an open packet here of rhinestones, so we'll use them up first before I open up a new pack. And we're going to use 2 of the larger ones, and we're just going to pop those down here. 1 and 2. Oh, and actually there's a little one up the top there she's put, because we always need to have 3 or 5 or 7 rhinestones. Always, whenever you're doing embellishments, you always need to have an uneven number, because it is more aesthetically pleasing to the eye. So there you go. So I've made a thank you card, or an appreciation card. Amber made a You're in My Thoughts card, which could be for a sympathy, or if somebody's unwell, going through a hard time. Yeah, but there's some really beautiful sentiments in that stamp set, and you could even just use the hello there, which you can use for any occasion at all. So there you go. So there's the card. Nice and easy to put together, isn't it? With that beautiful stamp set and the coordinating embossing folder. As I said, these are free. You can choose these for free. They come together as a bundle in the Sale-A-Bration brochure with a $180 purchase. So when you place a $180 order, on that order, you can redeem these for free. Now, I said to you that Amber had another card that she had created that that I wanted to share with you. So I'm going to get that one out to show you. Oh, Julie, did you just see the stamp set? This is from Sale-A-Bration. It's the Softly Sophisticated, and it comes with the embossing folder. This is the embossing folder packet here. And you can find it on page 14 of the Sale-A-Bration brochure. It's one of the free products that you can redeem with a $180 order. So really pretty, isn't it? And I love the samples in here too. I love what they've done with this stamp set. It's really beautiful. Such a pretty stamp set. So there you go. And the dies are from the mini catalogue. I'll just go back over that again. The dies that we used, they are the Perennial Postage dies, and they're from the Perennial Lavender Suite. But they come as part of the, you can purchase them separately on their own, or you can get them with the coordinating stamp set, which is this one here, the Perennial Postage bundle. Okay, so there you go. All right, but let me show you the other card that Amber created as well. This is the other one that she created with the same suite. Sorry, not the same suite, the same bundle. The same bundle. So she's got the embossing in the background here on the base, and that's actually a separate piece, I believe. Yeah, that's a separate piece that she's then adhered onto the card base. She's used the large postage label die, and then she's done the stamping here, and she's softened the edges with a little bit of crumb cake on a blending brush. Wrap the twine around there. She's used that little label tag. Isn't that gorgeous? She's done a great job, hasn't she, Rose? Yeah, everyone's loving your cards, Amber. Yeah, she does a great job. She's very, very creative. So I'm very thankful to have her help in my craft room. Let me just scroll back on the comments. Oh, you know what? I'm going to tip the camera up and then I'm going to scroll back on the comments. All right, bear with me. Here we go. I think I've got that covered up. Have I got that covered up properly? Hopefully. Otherwise, I'm about to make you all very dizzy if not. I don't want to do that. I don't want to make you dizzy. There's lots of adjustments I have to do here with my stand. Come on, why aren't you working? There you go. Got you. It's being a little bit temperamental. Got it. Okay. Flip, flip. There we go. Okay. Lights. Oh. All right. So let me check back on the comments. And see what I missed here. Oh, I missed your comment, Deborah, about Brax. Brax is Deborah's little doggy. She's very cute. You took Brax for a walk, did some washing, and then sat and cut out the larger birds from the Flight 7. Oh, the Flight and, is that from the Flight and Airy designer series paper? Is that the one, Deborah? That's really pretty paper. Julie's also been doing housework. Do you know what? Monday used to be my housework day too, way back when. Now I don't have a day. It just gets done when it gets done. Yep. Glenda says lovely cards. Rose says love the cards. You have to order the dies. Yeah, they're great dies, Rose. They're really, really nice ones. Thanks, everybody. Dimity says lovely, and Vicky loves them as well. Very pretty card. Thank you, everyone, so much on behalf of Amber for her beautiful design. There's the card up close. Hard to pick up the true colors on camera, especially with the lighting. This light's kind of not pointing in the right direction now. I've just adjusted it. That's better. There. Oh, now I've got lights before my eyes. You see that? It's really pretty. Is that her one or is that my one? Oh no, that was the one I just made. That's right. That was my one. And then that's her other one as well. Isn't that beautiful? I love that one. I was actually having trouble deciding which one I was going to make today because this one's really pretty as well. And I love the edges, how they've been softened. Actually, the sponging around the edges, I think that was my idea. Because I said, I really like that idea, but how about if you soften the edges a little bit? Because it was very stark white. Yeah, that was my, what's the word? That was my input into that card. My collaboration on that one. We collaborate a lot on our projects, actually. We love collaborating on our projects. So, yeah, you like that one too, Julie? Yeah, it's a pretty one, isn't it? Really pretty. Yeah. All right. Well, if you have any questions, feel free to get in contact with me and let me know. I'd love to help you on your creative journey. Remember, there's that amazing special at the moment too for purchasing the Stampin' Up! Starter Kit. You only pay $169, but you get to choose $235 worth of product, plus get free shipping, plus then you get the added Sale-A-Bration goodies added in. You can either choose the Glass Mat Studio or you can choose an additional $51 worth of product of your choice in your starter kit, and then you get that ongoing discount, 20% discount on your Stampin' Up! Products for as long as you like. You can leave whenever you're ready. There's no lock-in period, and one thing I didn't mention before is that you don't have to sell products either. So if you just want to join just to enjoy the discount for yourself, that's totally fine. You can do that. If you want to share with other people, that's fine. You can do that too. We are happy so long as you are happy. And of course, I would love to welcome you into our beautiful crafting community. So if you would like more information about joining my team, please feel free to get in contact with me, and I've got lots more information I can give you. And I'm looking forward to our team swaps, as Julie mentioned. With every new catalog, I run a team swap. So what we do is those who want to participate, they register, and then depending on the number that we have registered, we've got 12 this time, which is awesome. And so then we design a card, we make 12 cards exactly the same, and then we send them out to each of those people from our team who are participating. And so then we end up with 12, so each person in the swap ends up with 12 different projects to inspire us and give us creative ideas. So once that is all finished, when are we doing that? When do I send them out? I think by the end of this month, I will have all of the swap cards in. So then I'll be able to share them with everybody. So very exciting. And we might even be able to make some of those beautiful projects as well. So lots more creative inspiration. So I'm excited about that. So very, very exciting. And also too, if you're not yet subscribed to my newsletter, please feel free to subscribe to my newsletter, and you can find this subscribe button on my blog. If you go to my blog, mandyspapercraftcreations.blogspot.com, you'll see the subscribe button there over on the right hand side, but you'll probably get the pop-up as well. That'll pop up to ask you if you'd like to subscribe to my newsletter, because in my newsletter, I put my projects for the week. I keep you up to date with all the current promotions, the sales, the specials, my classes coming up. Remember, I've got that card buffet coming up. Julie, I don't think you were on when I was talking about the card buffet, and Deborah too. It might be something you might like as well. I am having an in-person card buffet on the 24th of February. The link is in the comments, and it will also be in the description of this video. It's going to be in person. You're going to get to choose, you're going to get to create 4 cards on the day, but you get to actually choose from several different designs. So there might be 8, there might be 10 different designs that I have, and as part of the class, as part of your class fee, you can choose whichever 4 you like. And then if you want additional ones, you can purchase additional kits to take home to create at home. So, and we'll have a light afternoon tea, and yeah, we'll be able to craft in person. So it'll be really great, but numbers are limited because I can only fit in so many at a time. So if you are interested in that, check out the link. All the details are there. And I look forward to crafting with you all again really, really soon. So have a great week, everyone. Remember to let me know if you need any more information about anything. And yeah, I'll get those links ready and pop them up. All right, have a great week, everyone. I hope you get some craft done, and I hope you create one of these cards. If you do create this card or a version of this card, please send it to me. Let me have a look. I would love to see how it turned out. I'm sure it's going to be beautiful, and I'd love to see what you do with this layout. So please share with me. I'd love to see them. All right, have a great week, and as I always say, happy crafting. See you next week. Bye-bye.